So I've been using the iPhone 15 Pro for the past few months since its release. It is the phone I use on a daily basis, both for my personal life and also my professional work. It's certainly my favorite iPhone that I've ever owned, so in this video I'm going to break down what's on my iPhone 15 Pro from the perspective of a professional photographer, videographer, and content creator. So first off, let's talk about the phone itself. This is the iPhone 15 Pro. It is not the Pro Max version, and that was actually a considered choice, even though the addition of the 5x telephoto zoom on the iPhone 15 Pro Max would have been useful for me. I actually decided first of all for the size. This is my favorite size of phone. You can actually see here compared to the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, the size is pretty substantially different in terms of size of these two devices. I just much prefer a much more compact feeling in the hand. I actually don't like an absolutely massive phone anymore. It's kind of been trained out of me by using the standard size iPhone Pro models. So with that size consideration in mind, and also the fact that I actually personally believe the 3x telephoto is more of a usable telephoto length than the 5x telephoto. So the fact that it's got high quality lenses on both that main rear facing sensor, the 3x rear-facing sensor, that was a considered choice for me because it's just a focal length I use more often. So heading on to the lock screen of my device, this is the kind of standard iOS lock screen. Obviously we can tap and hold, you get a few of the different lock screen variations. For here, I have a couple of kind of photo shuffle variations, which are ones which of course will rotate out photos different depending on the amount of times you lock your phone. This is the one I'm using at the moment. This wallpaper is actually available on my website. It's a wallpaper pack that I shot in the Alps, so this is one of my own photos, which is pretty cool. In terms of widgets up here, I've got just a couple of widgets at the top of the screen. I've got a Gmail widget that of course is just a standard kind of connection to Gmail, and you can obviously tap it to open up the Gmail there, and then a really simple weather widget as well. All that does is obviously if you were to tap that, you get an instant view for what the weather is like in your particular location. Clearly not very good right now. In terms of kind of accessories and items that I use with my iPhone on almost a daily basis, there are of course a few things. First of all is the case that I'm using right now. I previously used to use leather cases for my iPhone. I loved the way that they patinaed over time. You guys might have seen my iPhone 14 Pro leather case, and that thing was absolutely battered. It did look really nice because you kind of get this almost like, this like battle-worn iPhone just after using it for a few months. I switched it out this time for a silicone case, and I've actually not looked back. Like, I love this thing. A real big advantage to it is it's sticky, so if you place it on surfaces it doesn't slip away very easily at all, and that's a big advantage for me. And also of course they're MagSafe compatible, so you obviously don't lose any functionality like that. This is a really good case, and I have no regrets since Apple dropped their level 9 switching to this one. In terms of other accessories, something I use every day is my AirPods. Like, these are still the AirPods 2nd generation. I haven't switched to the 3rd generation or the AirPods Pro. Like, they fit my ears so perfectly. This is why I still continue to use this. This really is the only downside right now, is because this is still a Lightning connector, and of course the iPhone 15 Pro has a USB-C, and the USB-C is a big upgrade. I was not expecting this to be a significant upgrade at all, to be honest. I thought it was just going to be one of these things which didn't really make a difference to my daily life. It has been a real improvement, because just having the standardization of like everything across my devices of USB-C, I only need to bring like one charger and one cable, and I can pretty much charge all of my devices now. It is a massive benefit. Like I said, at some point these will die and I will replace them with a newer USB-C version, and then truly I will only need one cable. And again, since switching to USB-C, you can use a whole bunch more accessories on your iPhone. This is one example. This is an SD card reader. So if I shoot photos on one of my other cameras, or like my other professional camera sitting behind me, or this my little kind of like everyday camera, a Fuji X100T, I can take the SD card out, plug that straight into my camera using the SD card connector, and of course, again, because these are all USB-C, this is nice and easy. If you take photos on another device, I would thoroughly recommend just getting one of these little extenders. And then, since we're talking about iPhone accessories, let me take the chance to introduce you to a new series of 15-watt chargers from Anker, who are sponsoring today's video. Anker have been absolutely smashing it for the past few years and have become a household name when it comes to charging for the iPhone, and for good reason. Their new line of wireless chargers for the iPhone are no different. They're all 15-watt chargers using the Key 2 wireless charging standard, standard, and they all have different forms and styles to fit your needs. So I've got two with me right now. This is the 3-in-1 wireless charging station. This allows you to charge your iPhone, your AirPods, and your Apple Watch in one portable compact solution. Because it's a 15-watt charger, it's going to charge at a much faster rate than using a standard 7.5-watt charger. This is a really tidy solution for charging all of these devices at one time, and it even comes with an authentic Apple Watch charging connection. My personal favorite one though is this. This is a 10,000 milliamp hour MagGo power bank. This is a MagSafe compatible fast charger, and it will charge my iPhone 15 Pro around 1.8 times if this is charged to full. You just attach it like this, you get a digital screen on the side so you'll be able to see how much charge is in the device and how fast it's discharging. A really cool little touch is the metal kickstand on the back that lets you use it as a stand for your phone in both horizontal and vertical orientation. This is built really nicely with soft touch plastic all around and a really nice amount of weight to it, so it feels super substantial. Check the link in the description to learn more about these chargers. Thank you to Anker for sponsoring this video. So back to the home screen, and I'm actually going to go through some of the apps that I use on a daily basis. So I have my kind of basic layout is my first two screens are widgets. The first screen is widgets. The second is kind of my most used, and to be honest, these are all of the apps that I actually just use on a daily basis. And then past the first little page, I don't really tend to touch most of the apps on my phone, and if I do, I'll scroll down like this and then search for them within Siri. Before we jump into the apps itself, something to note is the action button on the iPhone. So of course the iPhone 15 Pro has an action button setting. We can actually control this just like this. The way I've got it set right now is I have this set to camera, but I have it set to take a video. And this is a kind of a crucial difference because when you lock the iPhone, you already have a shortcut on there to go straight to the camera app. And that will normally take you to the photos because that's most likely what you're shooting on your phone. But I have this set to the camera app to shoot a video. So this will always open up the video section, and it's just a nice speedy way to access shooting video at the touch of one button. To be honest though, I've not been that impressed so far with the action button. I've not really found that many uses for it. So if anyone has some really good uses for the action button or is using it in a way that you guys might want to share, drop that in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it. So in terms of widgets, at the top right here, we've got a battery widget. Obviously, as soon as you go ahead and power on some AirPods, you get a breakdown of how much AirPods charge are in there as well. You can see just like that. This for me is the most useful part because of course you can't ever tell how much battery the AirPods have. So just by flicking that up, you straight away get a view on your AirPods battery. Next is a Google Calendar widget. This is a really big one for me because I kind of organize my entire life through Google Calendar. Any meetings, shoots, or appointments that I have means that I'm not going to miss it because I constantly have a reminder on the right for what I'm supposed to do tomorrow. If you do use a digital calendar, I would thoroughly recommend putting a widget on your home screen. And then next, it might just look like apps, but this is the Siri suggestion apps. So this will change dynamically based on what you're doing on your phone. This, in my opinion, is one of the best things you can put on your home screen because the app predictions are actually really good. You'll kind of be doing something and it will be kind of flowing. You'll be doing a task and for some way it's working out that what you're doing and just be able to suggest those apps. So right now I'm filming a video and I've got Google Docs open there in the bottom left, even though I don't normally have a shortcut to Google Docs. It's probably because I've accessed that recently, but in my opinion, that is a really useful feature. Scrolling quickly over to the left, this is where I keep a lot of my content creation apps, and again, a lot of the apps that I kind of use on a genuinely daily basis. So along the top, these are all camera apps. First of all, of course, we just have these kind of standard camera app. Nothing too much to say about the camera app specifically, or at least the default camera app. Next, we have Lightroom. This is where I go and edit all of my photos on the go. You can see that here's a raw file that I was editing on this device. If you never use Lightroom mobile, I would thoroughly recommend playing around with it. They do have a mobile only option pricing plan, I believe, but it's a lot of fun. You actually get a lot of the manual controlling power that you actually get from their desktop app directly on your phone, and it kind of syncs your whole library of photos digitally in the cloud, so you can access all of your photos as well if you have that way, if you have things properly set up. Next, Instagram. I'm sure I don't need to explain that one. And then the Blackmagic camera app. If you guys saw my iPhone 15 filmmakers review video, this will not surprise you, but I've been using the Blackmagic camera app a lot, and I've actually used this in slightly more professional environments. Shooting log now on the iPhone is extremely powerful, and the fact that you can customize your shooting modes using the Blackmagic camera app makes it basically invaluable as an option. So you can go in here, you can select your codec. I always have this when I'm shooting anything that's not unbelievably important. I have this set to H.265, which is one of the most file efficient codecs, and I go down to color space and I choose Apple Log HDR. So this really is allowing you to maximize the amount of quality to the size ratio, because shooting log on the iPhone otherwise is extremely storage hungry. So moving down, scrolling around slightly, we have the Photos application, standard kind of iPhone stuff, a few social media apps, Notion, which I've been using more and more recently to kind of help organize my life. I don't actually use it for things like docs and kind of writing. I still find Google Docs a little bit more intuitive for me. The thing I actually use Notion for is things like rolling to-do lists, kind of flow charts and stuff like that for any of my workflow. Google Maps, Arc, which is a thoroughly interesting browser. If you guys haven't downloaded Arc, I would thoroughly recommend it. Right now I'm having sync problems, so I use it literally every day on my Mac behind me, but for some reason I'm trying to get the sync to work. I think it's something to do with Apple IDs. So right now that is not in use on my phone. The standard notes application, this is just a classic. Obviously you always need notes on there. You guys have seen sometimes I show point of view videos on the channel. That is using an Insta360 Go, and the Insta360 app is of course where I go and edit and control those files. So that's why this application is on here. I'm not logged into it right now, as you can see, but you know, that's why that's there. Tennis TV, I'm a massive tennis fan. I am a tennis player as well as a tennis fan, but Tennis TV is where I watch all of my tennis. If anyone's into tennis, also let me know down below. That would be quite interesting to know. And then apart from that, this kind of goes into slightly boring territory, but we're going across to the widgets page. This is where I have a couple of most used widgets. First of all is I have a screen time widget. I do like to keep an eye on the amount of screen time on my phone. This is a kind of a big one and gives you a breakdown at the bottom here. So I use this kind of the immediate left swipe. I know that I can always check that there. And then next is a widget stack. So this is a big widget stack. So I can go down here, I've got weather, then I can go down here and I've got a photo stack and I can tap that and go into that. The widgets that were introduced on iOS in the last couple of years are really, really good and really, really useful in my opinion. And so guys, that's a rough guide to what's on my iPhone 15 Pro. Hopefully you guys kind of found it somewhat interesting. Let me know if you guys use some of the similar stuff or any things that you might think I might like down below in the comments. I'll see you guys next time.